There's a famous saying that it's hard enough to be a woman because you have to act like a lady, think like a man, look like a young girl, and work like a horse. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrating all the amazing women who have changed our world, let me start my presentation on Lead, Inspire, and Win. When I was a very young little girl, I used to watch my mom cooking in the kitchen. She was using these different spices to make delicious curries. And while she was cooking and working in the kitchen, she used to tell me these fascinating stories about the world, how the continents were made, how the civilizations started, different countries, different cultures, oceans, the great leaders in the world, their qualities, industrial revolution, world wars, you name it, she talked about it in the kitchen. Those days, I didn't understand that she wasn't just making a curry, but she was shaping me to meet what future beholds. And even though I didn't understand everything she said at such a young age, there are these words that I will not forget. If I say in her exact words, my darling, under the sun and moon, there's nothing that you can't achieve. After many years later, here I am, leading a team of talented men and women, pursuing a career in engineering, and diversifying myself into the field of people management as well. But sadly, not all the ambitious women in the world get the opportunity to reach their career heights. In Sri Lanka, as all other contestants said very clearly, more than 50% of our population are women, yet only 34% of them encounter for the economically active population. And these numbers decline drastically when it comes to senior leadership positions, political leadership in the country, and of course, engineering careers. Have you ever thought, if we can bring gender parity, if we can bring true gender balance, what would be the outcome if we are to bridge this gap? There's this famous research conducted by McKinsey and Company, and they say, if true gender balance existed in the world, it would add $23 trillion to the global economy. Let me repeat that again, $23 trillion. And if we take the Sri Lankan context, if we can achieve gender parity in our country, it will add $20 billion to our GDP. So ladies and gentlemen, these days we are desperate in finding dollars and we need them badly. So what is stopping us in utilizing this invaluable and untapped resource? The answer is the challenges that us women have to place every day in our life. Those challenges can be personal, it can be organizational, or it can be societal. So here I talk about few of those challenges which are very much important. Number one is, the first and the most challenging one is social, cultural, and gender norms. So as we all know, women for centuries are considered to be homemakers and caregivers, while men are depicted as breadwinners for the family. And according to the psychology I have learned, women are more emotionally attached to their families. So when it comes to balancing between the work responsibilities and family life, women are torn apart by these double burdens. Society always expects that woman to play that specific role assigned by our history. Let me give you a personal example from my life. After every achievement, say my chartered engineering and my master's, my chartered qualification in human resource management, and I am planning to start my PhD as well. So after every achievement, there is a set of people who say, why are you still following behind those achievements? Why are you still studying? Have children, get settled. Otherwise, your achievements will be useless. Ladies and gentlemen, the society doesn't know our struggles, but it will always judge you. If you don't have a good support system, it will break your career. Luckily, I have a very supportive husband and a family. The next challenge is gender stereotyping and social biases. When it comes to the field of engineering, it is considered as a man's job because people tend to believe that men excel better than women in engineering. These biases will ruin the chances of young girls in joining in the engineering industry. Let me give one more example from my personal life. So when we go to a meeting, if there are my subordinates, my supervisors and clerical staff, but when I am the only woman in the room, there's a very good chance you will be asked to take notes because I am the only woman. Somehow people think that women are good at taking notes. So these are typical stereotyping. And also, people think that women are not assertive enough and women can't lead, they are weak. So I worked in a highly unionized environment. I remember when union leaders try to attack me with their words, and one guy came to me and said, either you will do this job, else you will get shot. I can still remember how his face swelled when I said, try me. So as women, we have to be very confident and strong. And then the next challenge is lack of self-confidence. Self-confidence is, according to psychology, very much connected with your upbringing. For myself, my confidence booster is I have mastered martial arts, a style called Wing Chun, developed by a female. It is a Kung Fu style. So this martial arts helped me a lot to boost my confidence. And then lack of having enough role models. So this was a big problem for me because as an aspirational woman, there's a place in future I want to be, but there are very less number of women in that place. So this is very discouraging. So ladies and gentlemen, how can we face these challenges? And how can we get out of this gender disparity? Ladies, always help other women. When you become successful, look at other women in the pipeline and help them. And especially be an emotional support to the struggling women. You don't know when a person is mentally struggling, it's very difficult to identify or believe that that person is struggling. If I give you one example, there's this girl who works for me, partially disabled, thin like a pencil, but very pretty. I saw she wasn't focusing on her work. As a supervisor, what should I do? I must advise her. But when I asked her, she said, "Ma'am, my husband hits me with his head and I get fainted at night. And in the morning I can't work, I can't concentrate." See the troubles women go through. Definitely we must have a mentor and find a strong role model if we are to succeed in our career. Developing strong networks is a must thing for women, because what I have observed is many women, they rush to home after work, but they don't go for networking activities. So for myself, I've been working with IESL in CPD committee, I've been working with my alumni association, number of industry boards, and even the Ministry of Youth and Skills Development. So these networking events have brought me new opportunities and have opened new doors where I can excel. And don't be afraid to break social barriers to reach your goals. Finally, have a positive mindset and determination. In the beginning, I said my mom was making curries very deliciously. So when we are making a curry, we use different spices, but we can't use one or two spices and leave others somewhere else. Same way, skills of women are not neither worse nor better than women. They are just complementary. So if we are to get great results, we need great teams with great men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, under the sun and moon, there's nothing that you can't achieve. Thank you.